Welcome back to my channel. I'm Sonnet, the owner and creator behind Sonnet's Garden Blooms, and in today's video we are going to be talking Santa. I am doing 5 different projects, or upcycles as I like to call them, and they are going to be all related to Santa. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I can't wait to hear what you guys all think. For upcycle number 1, I am using the recycled paper called Santa. It was from the holiday release last year, and I do have some available on my website. These two guys are so cute. I did go thrifting about a week ago, and I found these 2 really cool crates. They have lids, these really cute handles on the side. I just was not thrilled about the tops. So what I'm going to do is we are going to decoupage a Santa on the top of each one. And then on the front, there's actually like a mocha image on the front as well. There is another piece of paper from last year's release called, I believe it's Christmas trees. And I am going to be using that paper in 2 other projects. So we're going to take like the Christmas trees and put those on the front. And on that paper, there are some Santas, and we're going to use those in a different upcycle later on. For starters, what I'm going to do is I am using white swan here, and I am going to apply, actually what I did is I applied 1 layer, and then it just totally bled through, and then I broke out the Salvation solution, and I actually applied 2 coats of that. And I honestly do not know, normally that Salvation solution just works so good, but it still kept on, it bled through again. And what I decided then was to leave it as is. And I took, on the back of the recycled paper, I painted it white, and it made it, it really prevented a lot of that bleed through by doing that. Here's the Salvation solution, and I'm stirring it up good. Like I said, I applied 2 coats of that. I just don't know why it just kept on coming through. So I'm not sure what type of colorant was used on these crates, but it was like heavy duty. Here are the 2 Santas, and I'm going to show you, I cut them in half, I cut it apart, the 2 Santas apart, and I did apply white swan on the back side of the decoupage paper, and I did that for both of them. And Royce does this a lot when she is trying to apply, where she doesn't know where the image is going to fall. So she puts it on the back, cuts out the image, and then the back is white, so it really makes that image pop. And what I'm doing is I'm lining it up and laying the Santa out where I want it. And then I'm just going to take my nail and make like kind of a crease in the paper. That way I know where to cut, and then we're going to decoupage this on. I'm using liquid patina, which is my go-to decoupage medium. I'm applying a nice even coat. I'm starting with what's called a starter strip, and this really prevents a lot of the wrinkles, helps you have better control over your paper. So start with a starter strip, lay your decoupage paper down, and smooth it out, and then continue to work your way down. What I did notice is I cut a little bit too much off of one side, so I just cut that paper off and then just fed it in. And that's another nice thing too. You can definitely fix any oopsies with Royce's paper. This is that other paper that I was telling you about. Half of it is the Christmas trees, and then the other half is actually 4 different Santas. So what I'm doing is, again, applying that starter strip and then laying the Christmas tree paper down. The smaller one, I start with the lid just like I did with the larger box, and I did the exact same thing, and the second one seemed like it went together so much easier. For upcycle number 2, these have been in my garage since last fall when I cut them all. I have been trying to pull as many of them out as I possibly can and use them up. I also am trying to use up my leftover transfers and things like that. And these 3 transfers are from the Candy Cane Cottage, and I am so sorry, guys. It is completely sold out, I think, everywhere. But if you have your hands on one, I am taking these transfers and creating these super cute ornaments. And it's really as simple as just figuring out like a size of one that's going to house the entire or as much of the transfer as possible. And any excess you can just peel off and toss, but you definitely want to use as much of the transfer as possible. Lay your transfer on, use your transfer stick, and just start rubbing. And it really is that simple. And using transfers are so easy. Once you get your transfer on there, take that backing, rub it all over your transfer to really burnish that transfer in whatever project you're applying it to. And then all you need to do is seal it. I'm using Big Top to seal my project. I apply 1 even coat to all 3 ornaments, set them aside, let them dry very thoroughly, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach the hanger to this one. If you guys watch the video on the mushrooms, I am going to use that screw eye and the same exact bit. So all you need is a couple screw eyes, a tiny little bit. Just take your bit and your screw gun, drill a tiny little hole on top, and then screw the screw eye right in, and it's really that simple, guys. The final step of this project is add a hanger, so I'm using my favorite twine that I always pick up at Walmart. I'm eyeballing how long I want it, cut it, and then tie a knot in the end, and this project will be complete. For upcycle number 3, you guys know how much I love keeping all my scrap wood. I went and I dug into my scraps, and I'm trying to use up as much as I can. I'm trying to use up all my old transfers, and it's kind of a mission. I always try to do it at the beginning of the year, but I figure I might as well start right now. So this transfer is from Candy Cane Cottage. Like I said with the last ones, you guys, I'm sorry if you don't have your hands on one of those transfers, but I was pulling it out because of this Santa. He is super cute. I'm painting this board with Apothecary, and all I'm doing is painting 1 even coat. DIY paint is very heavily pigmented, so it has amazing coverage. I'm again applying 1 even coat. I'm going to let it dry, and then we're going to come back and we are going to hand stamp a background here. And keep in mind, all the products that I'm using in today's video you can find on my website at www.sonnetsgardenblooms.com. Now that it's dry, I am using Le Courrier, which is one of my go-to stamps for backgrounds. I love Kindest Regards, and I also love Le Courrier. So what I'm using is the color Stone Gray. It is similar to black, it's just not as stark. So I'm applying just a nice even coat of Stone Gray to the section of the stamp that I want on this board. After I get it fully inked up, I'm going to then line it all up, lay it down, and then I'm just going to take my fingers and lightly rub over the entire stamp. I want to make sure that I get a really nice, good, clean image over the whole entire board. And there you have it. Now, what I do recommend is wipe your stamps down right away. I'm using a baby wipe, And then if you guys haven't yet, the envelopes from IOD that house the stamps, I definitely would recommend them. I love mine. I actually initially ordered them just for myself. I loved them so much that that's why I have them available now for you guys as well. The best way to stay organized and keep them all in one place. Now that the ink is dry, it's really as simple as peeling off the transfer, lining it up, figuring out where you want it, laying it down, and applying the transfer. Keep in mind too, you guys, I know that Candy Cane Cottage is not available, but there are a lot of other applications or, different transfers that you can use this same technique with. I just want to inspire you to start using multiple layers in your projects. The final step here is to seal it. And again, I'm using Big Top, but you can use any type of poly or wax to seal your project. And this little shelf sitter is totally complete. For upcycle number 4, if you guys follow me over on Facebook or YouTube and watch my lives, you'll know that I just showed this on one of my lives and you guys loved it. I wanted to include it in a video because not everyone watches me live, and this was definitely a fan favorite. I was completely inspired after going to Debbie Beard's paint inlay reveal. She had this amazing chandelier hanging, and her friends and viewers all sent her these amazing chipboard paintbrushes that they had decorated up. And some of them were hand painted, some of them had molds on them. I do have a photo over on my Facebook page. I was out on Pinterest and I saw that there was chip brush Santas, and I was like, that is so cute. And I was just thinking I wanted to create something like Debbie Beard's. So I thought this would be awesome to make. Unfortunately, I did not totally dig the ones that were out on Pinterest until I was over on the IOD page, the IOD tribe page. There were a couple gals over there and they used trimmings 1, 2, and 3 to wrap around the base, and I loved them. So this is a very easy way to take a chip brush, decorate it all up, and make it look like a Santa. So I am painting initially all the handles, and I'm painting one Bohemian Blue, one Monet's Garden, and the other one I am painting Apothecary. In my live, which I'll show you those paintbrushes as well, I used Farm Fresh and then I used Marquee. I'm taking vintage linen and I am going to use that to paint his beard. So that silver part, I painted half of it the color of the handle, and then the other half I painted the color of his beard. I do leave a couple of the bristles like exposed to make it look like not solid white, and I let those dry and then we get decorating. For this step, you'll need cornstarch. Just sprinkle a little bit in the mold, dust it out. I also use IOD clay. I just take a chunk of clay, roll it in, like, try to combine all of it, and then I just kind of roll it in my hands and put it into the mold. And I don't use anything else other than my thumb. I push it down in and then take my thumb and get rid of the excess. Once I get that all in there perfect and use my thumb to get rid of the excess, I then am ready to decorate. I use gravity to drop the mold right out, and then I measure up where I want it, And I'm just using my scissors and I cut away the excess and wrap it around. Again, cut away the excess. I use Type Bond glue, my favorite go-to for applying the molds to different projects. And I start by applying a little in the middle and then take my finger and just bring it to the edges. You don't want too much when you put it down. You don't want like the glue oozing out. I wrap it around and I'm going to let this dry for a bit and then we're going to start decorating. I'm using Petticoat Pink and I am going to paint his nose and his cheeks and make him look all rosy. From there, I am going to paint the brim of his hat. I'm going to paint each one a different color. And this one I'm painting vintage linen. The one that's Monet's Garden, I went with Marquee. I thought about going with green and red. I thought that might be kind of fun. And the one with Apothecary, that one has actually, it looks like leaves and stuff. So I painted that gypsy green. After they were all dry, I did seal them. Anytime you're using DIY paint, you do need to seal it, otherwise it can be reactivated. I sealed it with Big Top, and now I'm using the golden ticket, and it's a wax, and I am going to apply just a layer of the golden ticket to each one of these brims, and then take a piece of paper towel, wipe away the excess to bring out all the detail. I am going to do that to all three of them, and this gives, even though it is the same product, but because it's different colors, it just gives it a different, unique look for each one. After I let this dry, I am going to go into my ribbon stash and apply a ribbon to each of the handles. I didn't show that on video, but it's basically as easy as running a ribbon through the hole and then just tying it on the end, and you can use whatever ribbon you'd like. You could actually get a little crazy and decorate up the handles, do whatever you like, make them look like candy canes, what have you. I think that there are so many possibilities. I am just trying to go for more of a simplistic look here, but I love how they turned out. For my fifth and final upcycle today, I actually had these boards for my barn stars, but they were the perfect size for these Santas. And this is the other half of the paper where those little tiny Christmas trees were. Are these not cute? You guys could do so many fun things with them. So I am just creating these little shelf sitters. I made a bunch of them for Cranberry Fest and they went over really well. So I'm going to make a couple more for my booth and get those in there right away. And I just picked out two of the Santas that I thought would be perfect for these. And then we're going to decoupage them on. You guys know the drill by now. I'm going to do a starter strip of the liquid patina and lay down the paper, smooth it out, and then work my way down. I'm going to do that for both of these. Let them dry very thoroughly, and then to get rid of the excess paper, I am going to take a sanding block and we're going to remove that after it's dry. Do not do it before it's dry. Live and learn from me. I rushed a project once and the paper will tear, guys. You can use a sanding block or just a piece of sandpaper in a downward motion, sand along the edges to remove the excess paper. It's super easy, and once that is done, your project is complete. what did you guys all think? I love all things Santa, and oh gosh, after, I was on Pinterest and just getting inspired, like, what should I do for my video? And I'm like, let's do Santas. And I just pulled a whole bunch of different items together. And I saw an image on Pinterest, and I think I ended up getting some of these mugs from my great grandma. They're legit vintage antiques, the Santa mugs. So I'm like, there was this image with all those mugs like on a shelf, all decorated up, super cute. I'm like, oh, I want to collect those. So that might be a new collection. Oh my gosh, my husband will be like, another collection, Sonnet. Anyway, my favorite today, I do have to tell you guys, was this guy. I love doing almost like a mixed media feel, so layering. I love the apothecary against all the red. I just think he's the cutest. So it's going to be kind of hard to part with him, definitely, but I just might have to. So I also want to let you guys know that my back is feeling a ton better. My spirits are back up. I am rip-roaring to go, go, go. This weekend, I'm heading up to the cabin though. We are winterizing our cabin. It's a sad day. I always say the best day is when we open the cabin, and the sad day is when we winterize. So we are just not up there enough in the winter to keep the heat on and the water flowing, just in case something were to happen. It's like 3.5 hours north, and it's just better. So save some money on, gas and electric, all that good stuff, and we just winterize it. And then when we do go up there, unfortunately, we don't have running water, but it's only, once or twice in the winter. So with that said though, I don't know yet what I'm going to be doing for Monday. I do have a video. I don't know if Royce has spilled the beans at all, but I am going to just tell you guys, Royce is having a new release coming out on the 30th. That's what I was told last. And I'm trying to keep up with everything, but I was able to get some of the items ahead of time, and I created a video. So I'm hoping that it will be Monday, because I think Monday the 30th is when she's doing the release. So I have that video all set to go, and I know you guys are gonna love it, because I absolutely love everything Royce creates, you guys. She is so creative, along with Lexi, and those two minds together create some magnificent DIY products. So you guys have yourselves a great weekend. And one last thing, my membership is closing on the 31st, so I am leaving it open till the very end of the month. Then on the 31st, I'm closing it for another 6 months. I've had quite a few of you guys sign up, and I'm gonna follow up with the ones that I haven't heard back from. And if you are interested, definitely reach out. My email is info@sonnetsgardenblooms.com. So we will see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.